The GDFL Netball is presented to you by DeGrande Cyclone Sports, Blood Suzuki, Contours Gym, and Kempe International. Do you think you had the support of the girls in your reappointment? Do you think the girls wanted you back this year?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I feel. Do you know what? Coaches, friends, whatever. You're never going to. You are never going to impress everyone, or not everyone's going to be a fan of you. So step aside, let someone else take it on and see how that goes. So I think certainly, I had the support from the people that I needed support from, and that's Lynn, and that's the club, that's my assistant coach. We had support. But then when you lose a grand final, you have to blame someone. Blame me, I'm the coach, I don't mind. Blame me.
Well, unfortunately, the buck does stop us at the coach, and we all know that. I'm coach as well, and I know that you have to shoulder a large proportion of the blame, I suppose. Something didn't go quite right. And like you said, you had the strongest team that you had in years, and yet just the 2 weeks beforehand, you beat them by 12 and comfortably with full rotation of the side. And we couldn't do it on the big day. No, we couldn't. And, with any competition, netball competition, whatever it may be, we didn't have, in the second part of the season, we didn't have Casey, who was our defender. We didn't have her because she was away playing in Canberra, playing, National League, fantastic netballer. As any coach would, you wouldn't start her on the bench. I started her on the court, and I feel now that I probably should have started her on the bench. I feel like it rejigged my team. My team didn't click the way they were clicking in the finals leading up to it. But how can you put your best player, start them on the bench? I don't know how you can do that, but you'll look back at it now and there's things I would have changed. But there's always going to be ifs and buts. So. Am I proud of my coaching last year? Am I proud of the girls? I'm very proud of them, and I'm very proud of what I did. Okay, all right then. Fiona, you watched the grand final last year?
I was actually not in the Geelong at that time,
not in Geelong?
No.
All right, then I won't ask you that question.
Sorry.
I think we'll look at, I think enough said on the A-grade grand final. Thompson, just too good on the day.
Definitely.
Maybe more hungry than Werribee, and really... Even though you said you thought you were the underdogs, I think probably Thompson thought that they were, especially after you beat them 2 weeks previous by 12 goals. They had probably nothing to lose.
No, not at all.
They just went out.
They had experience as well, and well done to those. I think, is it Nicole now is she still playing this season? I'm not.
Nicole Trainer?
Sure. Yeah.
Yes, she is actually.
Oh, she's going to play. I was going to say, girls like that, a bit older, to get out there and perform the way they did on the day, fantastic.
Watching Nicole, and we'll probably touch on it a little bit later on, but Nicole's actually gone over to Krywula and is coaching over there this year.
Great.
And also, I think Sonia Harris has gone with her as well. Back after the break, we'll have Madge Anderton, the new netball manager and umpire manager for the GDFL, in on the show, and we'll ask her a few questions. And welcome back to the GDFL Netball Show. On the show with us right now is the new netball manager for the GDFL, Madge Anderton. And Madge, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Birdie. Thanks for having me. It's exciting to be part of the show and answer some questions that you may have for me. So thank you, Birdie. Very, very happy.
What made you take on the role as the netball manager this year?
I knew you'd ask me that, Birdie. Obviously, I've been around with the GDFL for a number of years in a couple of different roles, umpiring, and my background is umpiring. So I've been umpiring the panel for a long time, quite a number of years, and have enjoyed that. And my background is netball. Previous to umpiring is coaching. As you know, Birdie, we've had a bit of background in coaching. Birdie was in a side that my Newcombe side was playing, against. So netball's my passion. So I really enjoy netball and enjoy being involved. So when the role became available, Megan wanting to step down, and she's done a fabulous job and really set it up for me, so it's fairly easy for me to take over, I think. But also the other role that I've taken on is the umpires manager as well. So that's combining the role, and that was the league's decision to combine the role, which I think is a fabulous thing. Yep. And I'm going to enjoy both roles. I'm going to be very busy, but I'm going to enjoy both roles as well. So, yeah, I think there's not going to be some dramatic changes from me within. People are sort of wondering what differences I'm going to make. It's going to go along pretty simple, as what it always has done. But I'll make some minor changes along the way for the better. And just like to be involved, really like to be involved, approachable. So, yeah, so it's good.
Okay. So you also mentioned you're going to be the netball, in charge of all the netball now, the netball rostering and things like that.
The umpires coordinator, yes.
Umpires coordinator?
Yes, I am, yes.
I might just jump in there.
You do that?
This is an area, I suppose, playing for the last couple of years and coaching, it's an area that, you know, and I don't want to put anyone down or anything, but when I saw that you were coordinator of that, I thought fantastic, because I've seen you out there umpiring.
Thank you.
I know last year you've also had some time away from the GDFL, was it last year, umpiring in other leagues?
I did, yes.
Yep, which is fantastic.
That was great for me, for my umpiring, and to see, I guess, other leagues, how they operate, and not even knowing that I was going to do this role then. Coming into this role was great to be able to put some new ideas and thoughts.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So can I just ask, what's the biggest change we want to see from our umpires, or that you would like to, having your umpiring background, that you'd like to emphasise that netballers that go out there and play today, they'll know that this is something they'll notice in the umpiring. What is that?
Okay, so look, I guess there are some new umpires on the panel coming through. There's some younger umpires, which is always fabulous. So I guess some changes there. There'll be some new faces. There'll be some faces that you've always seen for a number of years, which is great as well. But look, I guess the thoughts that players have conveyed to me is consistency is important, which you know, we've had our umpires meeting, and I would like them to be really consistent with the discipline. That's one thing I really, you know, want them to be. We've brought in, or I've sort of indicated to them, I'd like to have a zero tolerance.
Yep.
And that means no back-chatting, no naughtiness from the players. Just behave yourself and play the game.
Yep.
Coaches are all right though?
Birdie?
Coaches are allowed to say
Coaches,
things?
I haven't got to the coaches part yet, but
That's
I
all right.
certainly will.
You can do that next year.
That's my role next year. But I guess, Kristy, in answer to your question, is that I would like the umpires to feel that they're in the background, they're going out there adjudicating the game. That's how I see an umpire umpiring a good game. And they'd like to do that too. They don't want to feel that they're in the spotlight of players picking on them. And, you know, so if players come up and say, who umpired that? That's fantastic. That's a great, and that's what I'd like to achieve with them all, that they're all really work together, they're supportive of each other, and not having to put up with stuff around the courts is great as well. I don't want that happening.
Yeah, fantastic. And I know just from players and things, feedback that we've had in the past is girls have felt that girls that go away and play in Melbourne on a Wednesday night feel like the Saturday umpiring is not as consistent or is not as up to standard. So if we can lift that standard, and I'm not putting any of the umpires down in any way, but just consistency. So I think if we see that, also the real rotation of umpires, so that the same team doesn't feel like they have the same umpire each week, that would be fantastic. And I'm sure you'll see really happy teams and happy players with the umpiring.
Absolutely. And look, that's what, you know, I am working on with the roster. I'm giving them a 4-week roster, and everybody, and that allows me to see where umpires are going. I have that a big board at home. My whole study is covered with a board of where the umpires go in the draws. So everyone will be rotated around. There's going to be some weeks where players are going to be really happy with the umpires, because that's just how it goes. I can't make people happy every week. So they're going to be extremely happy. They're going to be, you know, not as happy some weeks. But the umpires are, you know, are fantastic, and I will support them 1,000,000%. And I think I have a great bunch of umpires. So.
And we need you umpires, and we do love you.
Yeah.
One last question I've got to ask you.
Yes, Birdie?
What's Holly doing? Holly Carew?
Yes. Holly's still involved with promoting our junior umpires and looking after them, which is fabulous. So I'm really pleased to have Holly still with us in the GDFL. So she'll be doing that. I'll be supporting her in that role also. But she'll be doing a lot of that in the mornings, and obviously she'll be doing a little bit of testing. We've got some umpires coming up that are due for testing, so she'll be doing that for the league as well. So the league are really happy to still have her involved in the juniors. So all your juniors out there, please put them forward to us. Because us oldies, my panel isn't going to be around forever. We need to bring the juniors through. So that's great for her to be doing that, and she'll do a great job of that.
All right, that's great. Mate, thanks for coming on to the show.
Thank you, Birdie, for having me.
We'll be back in just a moment, and we'll have a look at this week's games coming up.